Um, let's talk a bit about home care. Anyways, actually, before I have that, any questions on the home safety front? No questions. It's very quiet out there. Very, very quiet. Oh, in the chat we have one. Okay, just again a reminder that this is recorded and these slides will be available to you. So no need to take notes. Uh, I hear this countless times. Families say, all my parents need is just a little help around the house and they'll be fine. Many times that is, maybe they just need a little help with things around the house. But many times it's just a band-aid for a serious situation. And it's the unrealistic expectations around home care and you read about it all the time is, I think I have a note here, they need 6,300 personal support workers to meet the demand in the next 2 years. So a lot of those home care services that we think are available are no longer available just to staffing shortages. But what is home care? It's a wide range of services. Obviously, we have nursing, anywhere from wound care to pain management to symptom management, personal care, which is you hear again about the PSW, the personal support worker. They help with activities of daily living, dressing, grooming, bathing, going to the washroom, light household duties. There's also occupational therapists that can come in and help out, especially when people are recovering from injuries or surgery. Speech therapy for languages. We always hear about speech therapy. It's not just for languages. It's a lot of time their focus is on swallowing and feeding problems. And social work, managing of conflicts and other difficulties. Who benefits from home care? Other people recovering from injuries, car accidents, falls, sports injury, recovering from surgery, uh, anything from a knee replacement to a heart transplant. A lot of the recovery is done at home now. The hospitals try to get people out as much as possible, so people are going to need some home care. Short-term illnesses, recovering from maybe pneumonia, long COVID, cancer treatment. Unfortunately, a good friend of mine has just gone through radiation and they need a lot of extra care just because it has just knocked them on their feet and they can't do a lot of the things that they would like to do. And then we have long-term conditions, obviously dementia, severe arthritis, diabetes management, cancer, Parkinson's, ALS. Again, all of these four will need some sort of home care to help in their recovery. Home care, part of it is publicly funded. To access home care, all you need is a valid health card, and you have to go through an assessment through the Home and Community Care Support Services. Many of you that have dealt in the senior sector will remember you used to have to go through the LHIN, the Local Health Integration Network. And before that, it used to be the Community Care Access Center. I think every 10 years, they just changed the name. But right now, it is the gatekeeper for all services, home and community care support services. You can supplement publicly funded home care with private care options. And obviously, those are paid for. But the home and community care support services really controls access to all the following here. So not only do they gain access to the home care, rapid response nurses, telehome care, family managed health care, it's also palliative care, medically assisted dying, long-term care, community care, child and youth services, information referrals, and supportive living. This is the access point for everything that the government of Ontario offers. So how does it work? Anyone can make a referral. If you go onto the website, you can fill out the paperwork. So you don't have to go to a doctor. You don't have to visit the hospital. If you're struggling, let's say with your mom that needs some assistance, is that you can fill out the paperwork and send it in, and a care coordinator will contact you. Again, a lot of people believe that it has to be doctor referred or hospital referred. That's not the case, is that anyone can make that referral. Then they will discuss your needs. They will put together a care plan based on assessment and eligibility. It's a big star on that is what do you qualify for? And then you'll have a visit with the care provider, and then they will adjust that as they move on and on. Again, it is looks like a simple process, but there are some challenges. So based on your assessment, you could receive the following service that we discussed earlier. You can get nursing, personal support, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, medical supplies. As I said, is that if they believe that you need a walker or a wheelchair or some devices, many of that is partially covered by the government. If you're in a situation where you need to go to long-term care, they will handle that placement, social work, nutrition counseling. Again, this is key when you're talking to your clients and you know they're struggling or they need some help, is that it is a one-stop shop for that. Is there's one place you go and one set of applications you go through. Just quickly on that is home care, family managed, is the government also has a program where they will actually give you a lump sum of money per month and you manage your own home care. It was designed the fact that people with long-term illnesses or very complex care is that you could hire the staff and it would be the same people over and over every day. And so that the client would have consistency of care. So they would know that Mary comes on Monday, John comes on Wednesday, and Cynthia comes on Friday. So that's that. I currently have a friend of mine that does have ALS, and they're doing that family care program, which they thought at the beginning was a great idea. Unfortunately, staffing is so critical right now, and there's such a shortage. I think in the last 4 years, and I'm not even stretching the truth, they have probably contacted and gone through 300 PSW applications. People come and they will come for a day, they will not show up afterwards. They will come for they will accept a job and never start. They will quit 2 days in. It is such a competitive market for PSWs, is that they will go where the money is. They will go, and no one's judging them on that. I would do it too. You know, they want to go with a place where there's benefits, there's a good salary, there's time off, there's assistance. So again, managing these programs on your own is really tough in this environment. Again, we'll talk about personal. This is the backbone of home care, is that PSW. They have many different responsibilities. Anyone out there who's dealt with a great personal support worker, they make people's lives unbelievably carefree because they can handle almost everything. You know, they're looking after the people and their families. They're doing personal care, bathing, dressing, undressing. They can plan and prepare light meals. They can change some dressing and some oral medication under supervision. They do light, they do light housekeeping, and many of them have such that care attitude or that drive to make sure that the person is happy. We'll even spend time talking with the clients. My other half, her mother doesn't even speak English. She's Italian descent, and the caregiver doesn't speak Italian, but they sit there and they converse in their own little way, which passes the time for them. They're well-trained PSWs. They have to go through a rigorous training program. It's anywhere from 6 months, depending on what school they go to, a year. They learn everything about the safety, the care planning, assisting families, assisting dying person, assisting medication. Again, how to deal with people with cognitive and mental health issues. Again, they're not just, it's back to the years ago, it was just person, a PSW was just a person that liked helping people. Now they're well trained. Many of them are coming from countries where they used to be nurses and some even doctors, because of the fact that they can't transfer those licensing. You'll have many personal support workers that have a high degree of education and providing that assistance, but it is something that is desperately needed. The government just announced the need for 6,800 new personal support workers. They're offering to pay for their education up to $25,000. There's companies offer $5,400 placement incentives. Even long-term carers are paying up another $10,000 if you go to different locations. So again, anyone advising a younger person or someone that's looking for a career change and they love people and helping people, this is sort of the job path that is well rewarded and well needed. This is, the system design is perfect until it's not. I mean, the process of getting interviewed, process of understanding your needs with a proper assessment, the process of putting a care plan together and then monitoring that care plan, it is a good system. Is right now it's just a shortage of people to implement that system. And it's not even the frontline staff, it's managers, is dealing with all the crises that are out there. So a lot of home care services that were traditionally available are not available just because of staffing issues. Many services have been reduced or even eliminated. And that's not, in Timmins, or that's not just in Sudbury. That is in Oakville, that is in Burlington, that is in Milton. These services are cut back just to staffing. We see people that, they're scheduled for 45 minutes, but due to the PSW or the support worker having to rush and meet so many demands, that could be down to like 13, 14, 15 minutes that they try to squeeze in there before they go to their next client. For years now, a large percent of the services in Halton, even private companies and the government, they can't provide the services just because of a shortage of staff. So again, when someone says, "Oh, I'll just get some people in," it is really, really, really difficult. I'll give you an actual scenario. It's the wife, 85-year-old, totally immobile, in a wheelchair bound, but again wants to stay in the family home. The husband, 86, suffering from severe heart condition. So this was an actual scenario here. So what happens is the care coordinator comes and assesses what the client needs. And I'm not sure how well you can see that on the slides, but on Monday they'll have shower and dressing from 7:30 to 9:30. And then they'll have someone else that comes and does some light housekeeping from 10 till 12. And then from 12 to 3, some meal prep, some toilet work, socialization, and activity. You can see, though, that there's gaps where that client has no one there. And Tuesday, it's 8 to 10, this, again, shower, dressing. But there is no lunchtime. It goes to Tuesday from 3 to 5:30. Again, it goes back to socialization, transfer, toilet transfer. And then Wednesday, again, there is no lunchtime. It's 8:30 in 1 hour. And then it goes to the evening of 3 to 5:30. Thursday, there's more care services in the Friday. But the big thing here is that you have a person that's totally mobile and a husband that can't provide care, and there's no weekend services available. That it's just a fact there is no staffing. So someone has to make up those hours. And so a look at it is that, there's Monday, there's care for 6 hours, Tuesday 4.5, Wednesday 4, Thursday 4.5, Friday 2.5, nothing on Saturday and Sunday. The husband is allotted 1 hour every morning for his care, so he gets 5 hours. So in a week, 24 hours in a day, there's 168 hours that have to be covered. And with the care, there is 128 hours shortfall. So again, that's that client that is in a wheelchair and is immobile, with all the government services available, there's still the family, somebody has to make up 128 hours, whether that's family or whether that's trying to get outside help. The challenge here, and point this out to your clients again, you want them to be in a safe, secure environment, but you have to be realistic. That person that says, "Oh, I'll just pay for someone to come in, or I'll get a student to come in." Let's just look at the numbers here. That client has 128.4 hours that they have to make out. if a personal support worker, that's 25 hours, that's $3,200 a week times 52 weeks, that's $167,000 to make up that care. And they say, well, I'll get a student, I'll just get someone to come in there. It's still 2,300 a week, 120,000 a year. Again, it's for most people that's unattainable. It's not something that's feasible. So when the client says, oh, I'll just get help in, take them through this scenario and looking, how is this going to work? There's 24 hours in a day. How are you going to manage that? And the even bigger challenge here is the fact that it's not consecutive hours. As you saw in that at the care guide there, it's bits and pieces. You have to fill in a half an hour here, you have to fill in 2 hours here, you have to fill in nights, and a lot of it is small gaps and evenings and weekends. And so you say, well, I'm going to have to hire some outside help. Remember the shortage. And I got to tell you, I live this on a daily basis with my other half, and she's looking after her family. I have other friends that are going through this. The help is not guaranteed to show up. It's not they're irresponsible, but there's just things that happen. And you don't know if the PSW doesn't show up. So what happens? You have mom, you think that the PSW is coming from 7 to get her dressed and cleaned up till 9, and no one calls if the PSW doesn't show up. So again, your mom, your dad, your friend, or whatever is going to be lying in bed, and no one there to help. So what this family did was each family member takes 4 hours a day, which is 20 hours a week. But again, when caregiving, that's 4 hours with their parents. They have to drive from Oakville and Mississauga to downtown Toronto. So it's an hour there, hour back. So that 4 hours with mom and dad is actually 6 hours total. And you can see that how that would impact work life, family life, social life. And this is constantly week in and week out. They were lucky that the house does have a basement apartment, so they have actually a person staying rent free. Plus, they pay $600 a month to manage the evening care, and they have rotating caregivers that cover the rest, $2,000 a month. So, still, that to cover those things is $31,200 a year to that happen. Again, it's not including the hours that the family does and the stress involved if people not showing up or not coming at the right times. Again, it's a good system, but it's flawed now. So we get home care in. Let's look at the fact here is it optimizing our homes, our goals here? Is it increasing our safety? Well, we haven't really looked at the safety issues yet. We're just getting home care in. Socialization, you saw in that care plan that the PSW was doing some socialization work with the client. They're not working with the husband, they're just working on the wife. And they divide that skill. So it's, I've seen where the PSW will wash the wife's dishes and not the husband's dishes or a family member's, because their job is to look after that one person. Exercise, opportunities to exercise. Maybe if physio is part of the care plan, they'll get some extra exercise. But, the PSW might take them for a walk, but you're not increasing their opportunities to exercise, at home care, that they're actually staying at home. Obviously, the whole system is designed to help them with activities of daily living, is, feeding, dressing, grooming, toileting, bathing, and transferring. So what can we do is we got to, as realtors, is point out the reality of what home care is. There is government programs available. They do cover many things, but there is a lot of gaps in it. So if you have a client that's thinking of, many times you'll have a client that talk about mom's having trouble remembering things, mom needs a little help. Is paint the whole picture, sort of take it from A to Z, is that mom is going to need this, this, and this. And are you prepared to do these hours of covering where the government won't cover, or where the private pay, you can't afford to do the private pay? So again, is we got to look at optimizing those situations and pointing out the flaws in the system.